Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another webinar organized by the London School of Emerging Technology. LSET are committed to connecting professionals, entrepreneurs, founders, innovators, and future business leaders with industry experts who can share practical knowledge and real-world insights. Today's webinar is part of the ongoing series designed to help professionals navigate global opportunities, understand emerging trends, and make informed decisions about their careers and businesses. Today's session is titled Global Talent Visa Masterclass, Building a Strong Application as a Digital Expert. If you ever wondered whether the Global Talent Visa could be the right route for you, how applications are assessed, or what separates successful applications from unsuccessful ones, then you're in the right place. Over the next hour, we'll explore not only the eligibility requirements, but also the practical aspects of building a strong application, from understanding what assessors are looking for to preparing compelling evidence and avoiding common mistakes. Whether you are a software engineer, AI specialist, entrepreneur, startup founder, product manager, technology executive, or business professional working in the digital technology sector, today's discussion will provide valuable guidance to help you better understand this prestigious UK immigration pathway. I'm delighted to be here with you to discuss a topic that I'm genuinely passionate about, the Global Talent Visa, and the opportunities it offers to exceptional professionals and entrepreneurs looking to build their future in the United Kingdom. Over the years, I've had the privilege of advising professionals from a wide range of backgrounds, from software engineers and AI specialists to startup founders, researchers, and business leaders. One thing they all have in common is the ambition to create impact, innovate, and contribute to their industries. Many people believe that the Global Talent Visa is only for celebrities or world-famous entrepreneurs. In reality, it is designed to recognize individuals who can demonstrate excellence, innovation, and the potential to contribute meaningfully to the UK's digital technology ecosystem. Throughout today's session, my aim is to simplify the process, clarify common misconceptions, and provide practical guidance on what makes a strong global talent application. I encourage you to think about your own professional journey as we go through each section. Ask yourself, what have I achieved? What impact have I created? What evidence do I already have? And what can I do today to strengthen my profile for the future? With that, let's begin our masterclass. Many people have heard of the Global Talent Visa, but very few truly understand who it is designed for or what makes an application successful. Today's session is all about providing practical guidance from a legal perspective, helping our audience understand how they can assess their own profile and prepare strategically. So, to begin with, for those who may be hearing about the Global Talent Visa for the first time, let's briefly explain what makes this route so unique compared to other UK immigration pathways. Many people assume initially that the Global Talent Visa is simply another work visa. In reality, it is very different. Unlike many immigration routes that depend on employer sponsorship, the Global Talent Visa focuses on the individual, their achievements, professional reputation, leadership, and potential contribution to the UK. It is specifically designed to attract highly skilled professionals who can make a meaningful contribution to the UK's digital technology ecosystem. That includes not only software engineers and technical specialists, but also entrepreneurs, startup founders, product leaders, researchers, and business professionals who have played significant roles in innovation and business growth. A common misconception about the global talent route is that this route is only open to technical applicants who build the code. In fact, business applicants are also often successful as long as they can prove that they possess unique commercial, investment, or product expertise that directly scales digital products. Senior, non-technical professionals who drive the commercial growth, product strategy, or investment backing of a product-led digital technology companies are also suitable candidates for the Global Talent Visa. Another reason that makes this route so attractive is the flexibility it offers. Successful applicants are not tied to one employer. They have the freedom to change jobs, establish businesses, consult independently, collaborate with different organizations, and continue developing their careers without the restrictions associated with employer-sponsored visas. For those endorsed as global talent, this route also offers an accelerated path to settlement. Throughout today's masterclass, I want everyone joining us to think beyond the visa itself. Instead, think about your professional journeys. Think about the impact you've created. Think about the evidence you've built throughout your career. Because ultimately, this is what the global talent route recognizes. It rewards demonstrated excellence, innovation, and future contributions. By the end of today's session, my goal is that everyone will have a much clearer understanding of whether this pathway could be suitable for them, and if so, how they can begin preparing a stronger application. The global talent route recognizes the individual rather than simply the employer. Many professionals aren't aware of this distinction. As we move through today's webinar, we'll explore exactly what decision makers look for, how applications are assessed, and what practical steps applicants can take to strengthen their profile. Let's now begin by understanding why this particular visa has become one of the UK's most attractive immigration pathways for digital professionals and founders. We can move to slide 2. One of the things we often hear is that the global talent visa offers much more flexibility than the traditional immigration route. Let's see why this visa is considered so valuable, particularly for professionals and entrepreneurs. The value of the global talent visa extends far beyond obtaining permission to live and work in the UK. What makes it particularly attractive is the level of professional freedom it offers. For example, unlike many employment-based visas, applicants are not required to have an employer sponsor. That means your immigration status is not dependent on remaining with a single company. For professionals, this creates greater flexibility and greater career flexibility. You may decide to move into a leadership position, join another organization, begin consulting, or establish your own business. Your right to stay in the UK is never tied to a specific company or boss. If you leave your job, get laid off, you do not face immediate risk of removal and can take your time finding a new role. You can simultaneously hold a full-time corporate job while building your own side business. For entrepreneurs and startup founders, this flexibility is even more valuable. Business journeys evolve. Many founders begin with one idea, pivot to another, attract investment, expand internationally, or launch additional ventures. The Global Talent Visa supports that type of growth because it recognizes the individual's contribution rather than tying them to one specific employer or business. Another important benefit is that applicants can generally bring eligible family members with them, making it an attractive option for those planning a long-term move. The Global Talent route also offers a pathway towards settlement, allowing individuals to build not only their careers, but also their futures in the UK. Successful Global Talent applicants can apply for indefinite leave to remain after just 3 years instead of the standard 5 years of residence. Those on the exceptional promise can settle after 5 years, which still matches the faster alternative routes. From my experience advising clients, one of the biggest reasons professionals choose this pathway is because it provides both stability and flexibility. You are recognized for your expertise and achievements, and that gives you the freedom to continue developing your career in the direction that's right for you. It's not simply about obtaining a visa. It's about creating opportunities for long-term professional and personal growth. Before we move to the next slide, I'd like to add one final distinction. Many people watching today may be comparing this route with the skilled worker visa or other employment-based pathways. The biggest misconception is that applicants believe they need to be internationally famous or exceptionally wealthy to qualify for the Global Talent Visa. That's simply not the case. The Global Talent Visa is about demonstrating excellence through evidence. You don't need to be a celebrity. You don't need to have founded a billion-pound company. What you do need is clear evidence that you've made meaningful contributions within your field and that you have the potential to continue contributing in the future. That's exactly what we'll explore throughout today's session. Now that we understand why this route is so valuable, let's look at one of the most important questions every applicant asks. How do you know whether you fit into the exceptional talent or the exceptional promise category? Let's move to our next slide. Another area that often creates confusion is the distinction between exceptional talent and exceptional promise. Many professionals struggle to understand which category they should be considering. So let's explore the difference between these two routes or categories in simple terms. This is one of the questions that I often receive during consultations, and it's completely understandable because the names themselves can sometimes be confusing. Many people immediately assume that the exceptional talent is the better category and that exceptional promise is somehow a second choice. In reality, neither category is better than the other. They simply recognize professionals at different stages of their careers. The key question is which category best reflects my professional journey today? It isn't what category is easier. So let's look at each category individually. Exceptional talent is intended for professionals who have already established themselves as recognized leaders within their field. These are individuals who can demonstrate a consistent record of achievements over several years. For example, they may have built and successfully scaled technology companies, led major digital transformation programs, developed products that have achieved significant commercial success, managed large technical or business teams, received industry recognition through awards, publications, media coverage, or speaking engagements. The emphasis is on proven leadership and demonstrated impact. Exceptional promise, on the other hand, is designed for professionals who may not yet have decades of experience, but are already demonstrating exceptional potential. This could include a founder whose startup is gaining rapid traction, a software engineer who has progressed quickly into leadership roles, a product manager who has successfully launched innovative products, an AI specialist whose work is already being recognized within the industry. The Home Office understands that tomorrow's leaders don't suddenly appear overnight. They develop over time. Exceptional promise exists to recognize that future potential. So, to understand correctly, this isn't really about age or how many years of experience you have. It's about where applicants are in their professional journey and the evidence they can present. I've worked with applicants in their late 20s who had exceptionally strong profiles because they had achieved remarkable things early in their careers. At the same time, I have also worked with professionals who had 20 years of experience but weren't able to demonstrate the type of evidence required. Experience alone isn't enough. Similarly, youth is not a disadvantage. The assessment is always based on the quality of your achievements, the impact you've created, and the evidence that supports those achievements. That's why I always encourage my clients not to compare themselves with others. Instead, ask yourself, what have I built? What problems have I solved? What measurable results have I delivered? What evidence can I provide to support those claims? Those are the questions that matter. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes applicants make is trying to force themselves into the wrong category because they think it sounds more impressive. A strong application is one that honestly reflects your career stage and is supported by credible evidence. Remember that assessors are looking for authenticity and consistency. Your CV, recommendation letters, supporting documents, your personal statement should all tell the same story. If they do, you are already building the foundation of a strong application. So rather than asking which category should I choose, perhaps the better question is, Sorry, lights. Okay. So the better question is, which category genuinely reflects my professional achievements and future potential? I think that's a valuable takeaway for everyone joining us today. Now that we understand the distinction between exceptional talent and exceptional promise, let's move on to the question that many professionals and entrepreneurs ask themselves. Could I actually be a strong global talent candidate? Let's explore the types of applicants this route is designed for. Now that we have established from the previous slide that applicants should not compare themselves with others, they should understand where they are in their own professional journeys. Many people will be asking themselves a simple question. Could I actually qualify for the Global Talent Visa? Many people believe that this route is only reserved for CEOs, unicorn founders, or world-famous engineers. That is probably one of the biggest misconceptions I encounter. Many people assume that the Global Talent Visa is only for people whose names regularly appear in newspapers or who have founded billion-pound companies. The reality is different. The Global Talent Visa is designed for people who have created meaningful impact within the digital technologies. That impact can come in different ways. For example, let's consider a startup founder. Perhaps you've developed an AI platform that solves a real business problem. Maybe you've secured investment, attracted thousands of users, or built a product that's beginning to scale internationally. Those achievements may demonstrate innovation and commercial impact. Now think about a software engineer. You may not own a company, but perhaps you've led the development of a platform used by millions of customers. You've solved complex technical challenges, introduced new technologies, or mentored engineering teams. That is equally valuable. Similarly, product managers, digital transformation leaders, cybersecurity specialists, data scientists, growth leaders, and technology executives all contribute to innovation in different ways. The Home Office isn't asking whether you are a founder or an employee. They're asking, what impact have you created within digital technology? To conclude, the assessment isn't really based on someone's job title. It's much more about the contribution they've made. Job titles can vary enormously between organizations. Someone with the title of senior product manager in one company may have significantly more responsibility than someone with a director title elsewhere. Decision makers understand that. Instead of focusing on titles, they examine evidence. For example, did you influence important decisions? Did you launch products? Did you build technology? Did your work generate measurable business value? Did you solve difficult technical problems? Did your company grow because of your contribution? These are the kind of questions that matter. This should be reassuring because many professionals underestimate their own achievements simply because they don't hold that senior title. If there is one question that I encourage every applicant to ask themselves before deciding whether to apply is, if I removed your job title from your CV, would your achievements still tell a compelling story? Think about that for a moment. If your application only says, I was a software engineer, I was a product manager. I was a founder. That doesn't tell me very much. But if you tell me, I built a platform now used by 500,000 customers. I led a digital transformation program that reduced operational costs by 35%. I scaled a startup from an idea to a business operating in 5 countries. Now we are talking about impact. And that is exactly what assessors want to understand. It's not about who you are on paper, it's about what you have actually accomplished. Now that we have identified the types of professionals who may be suitable candidates, let's explore something even more important. If you decide to apply, what exactly are assessors looking for when they receive your application? This is probably the question everyone joining today wants answered. Once an application reaches the assessor's desk, what are they actually looking for? Many people assume it's simply about having a strong CV or working for a well-known company. And I completely understand why people think that. But in reality, assessors are evaluating something much broader than a CV. They're trying to understand your overall contribution to the digital technology sector. In my experience, there are 4 areas that consistently appear in successful applications, and we will look at each one. Leadership. Leadership doesn't necessarily mean managing a large team. It can also mean influencing important technical decisions. It can mean mentoring junior colleagues. It can mean driving innovation within your organization or founding a company that solves a meaningful problem. Assessors want to understand whether people look to you for expertise and whether you have influenced positive change. Innovation. Innovation is another key factor. This doesn't always mean inventing revolutionary technology. Innovation can also be developing a new product, improving an existing process, creating a scalable business model, using technology in a creative way to solve real-world problems. The question is, have you contributed something new or valuable? Impact. This is probably the area applicants underestimate the most, although we use this in applications very often. Many people describe their responsibilities instead of the results they have achieved. Instead of saying, I managed a development team, say, I led the development of a platform that increased customer engagement by 40%. Instead of saying, I worked on a product, say, the product I helped build now serves over 1 million users. Impact should always be measurable whenever possible. Numbers help tell your story. Recognition. Finally, assessors want to know whether your work has been recognized by others. Recognition can take many forms: awards, conference speaking, media coverage, professional certifications, open source contributions, letters from respected industry leaders. Even recognition within your own organization can be relevant when supported by evidence. The important thing is that your achievements have been acknowledged beyond your own description. I think many professionals spend years doing excellent work, but never stop to document their achievements. And this could be one of the biggest mistakes applicants make. People are often so busy building products, leading teams, growing businesses, that they forget to record their journeys. Then, when they decide to apply, they struggle to gather the evidence from projects completed several years earlier. That's why I always encourage professionals to think of their career as a portfolio rather than a CV. Every successful project, every award, every recommendation, every product launch, every article, every conference presentation, these all become pieces of evidence that demonstrate your professional journey. So rather than preparing only when you decide to apply, professionals should begin documenting their achievements throughout their careers. The strongest applications aren't created in a weekend. They are built over time. Applicants who consistently document their impact, maintain professional relationships, and collect evidence throughout their careers are usually in a much stronger position when the time comes to apply. Preparation is one of the biggest advantages any applicant can have. The next logical question is, how do you actually demonstrate those qualities through evidence? Let's move on to building a strong evidence portfolio. We've talked about what assessors are looking for, but now comes the practical question. How do applicants actually prove all of this? What kind of evidence makes an application stand out? Evidence is the foundation of every global talent application. Your achievements must be supported by credible documentation. Strong evidence can include recommendation letters, awards, media features, conference speaking engagements, business growth metrics, funding secured, product success, or open source contributions. One piece of advice I always give is this: don't wait until you're ready to apply. Start collecting evidence throughout your career. Save certificates, speaking invitations, performance data, press coverage, testimonials. The stronger and more organized your evidence, the stronger your application will be. So it's not about collecting more documents. It's about collecting the right documents that demonstrate your impact. Quality always outweighs quantity. Now that we understand the importance of evidence, let's look at one specific piece of documentation that often has a significant influence on an application. Recommendation letters that add value. These are more than character references. Recommendation letters should explain why you are recognized within your field and how you've contributed to digital technology. The strongest letters come from respected industry leaders who know your work well. They should describe your achievements, explain your impact with concrete examples, and highlight why your contribution is valuable. Generic letter saying someone is hardworking or talented isn't enough. General statements is not what the assessors want to see. The letter should provide credibility and reinforce the evidence you've already submitted. Recommendation letters should complement the application rather than repeat the CV. They should provide an independent perspective on your achievements. Now that we've covered evidence and recommendation letters, let's compare what differentiates an outstanding application from one that may not be as competitive. There are 5 characteristics of an outstanding global talent application. This comparison is actually interesting because many applicants wonder why one application succeeds while another doesn't. What usually makes the difference? And in most cases, it's not the applicant's profession, it's how clearly the applicant has presented their achievements. Outstanding applications tell a clear professional story. They focus on measurable impact rather than responsibilities, provide independent recognition, demonstrate leadership, and support every claim with credible evidence. Average applications often rely heavily on job descriptions or a CV without showing the wider influence of the applicant's work. Remember, assessors aren't just reading documents, they are looking for a compelling and consistent professional journey. The application should tell a story, not simply list the achievements. A well-structured narrative makes it much easier for assessors to understand your value. So we come to the question, are you ready to become a global talent candidate? Before applying, ask yourself, can I demonstrate measurable impact? Have I been recognized by my organization or industry? Do I have strong evidence? Have I demonstrated leadership or innovation? If you can confidently answer yes to most of these questions, you are likely on the right track. If not, that's perfectly fine. It simply means you need more time for preparation before submitting an application. And preparation isn't a sign of weakness. It's part of building stronger application. Many successful applicants spend months strengthening their profiles before applying. And that brings us to the final part of today's discussion. Before we move into the questions and answers, one key message from today's masterclass would be, don't focus on the visa. Focus on building your professional profile. The strongest applications come from people who consistently create impact, document their achievements, and invest in their professional growth. Think long-term. Build your evidence portfolio. Seek opportunities to lead, innovate, and contribute to your industry. When the time comes to apply, you'll already have a compelling story to tell. Remember, success starts long before the application is submitted. Before we conclude, I'd also like to briefly introduce one of the exciting initiatives offered by the London School of Emerging Technology. They don't just deliver educational webinars, they actively support entrepreneurs and innovators through programs that help transform ideas into successful businesses. The LSET Startup Incubator provides founders with mentorship, expert guidance, workshops, networking opportunities, and access to a global startup ecosystem. Whether you're building your first venture or looking to scale an existing business, the incubator is designed to help you move from idea to growth. If today's discussion has inspired you to explore opportunities in the UK, I encourage you to visit the website and learn more about the startup incubator and the upcoming programs. Apologies for this. Okay, sorry about that. Legal guidance is only one part of the journey. Having access to mentors, investors, industry experts, and a strong entrepreneurial community can make a significant difference. Initiatives like the LSET Startup Incubator provide that additional support, helping founders and innovators turn their ambitions into sustainable businesses. We can now move to questions and Q&A session. Okay. What is the biggest misconception applicants have about the Global Talent Visa? We mentioned a few. The biggest misconception is many applicants assume that the Global Talent Visa is another work visa or similar to the skilled worker visa that requires sponsorship. That is not correct. The Global Talent Visa, as I mentioned, doesn't require sponsorship. It actually offers a lot of independence, flexibility. You don't depend on a job. You don't depend on a company. You don't depend on a boss, like we said. It is all about your individual achievements, and it gives you a lot of flexibility, freedom to choose your employer. Or if you want to start a business, you can do that with the Global Talent Visa. Another misconception that we also mentioned is that Global Talent Visa is only designed for celebrities or founders of billion-pound companies. Again, that is not correct. The Global Talent Visa is designed for professionals, highly skilled professionals. Yes, the criteria is high. However, you can be an employee, you can be a founder, startup founder, you can be a business applicant, technical applicant, as long as you have created that impact that we talked about, and you have the evidence to prove that, you would be a suitable candidate for the Global Talent Visa. I think those two are the biggest misconceptions that applicants have about the Global Talent Visa. We also mentioned the misconception about difference between Global Talent and Global Promise categories. There's also confusion there. Some people think that the Global Talent Visa is better than the Exceptional Promise. In some ways, yes, because it does provide quicker, faster, accelerated route to settlement, but that is the only difference between the two routes. And as we mentioned, the main question is which category is best suited for your individual professional career achievements, the stage of your career. Another question, can professionals from non-technical backgrounds still qualify? Yes, so we mentioned this briefly. For Global Talent Visa in the digital technology sector, there are two types of applicants. Basically, there's distinction between business applicants and technical applicants. So yes, a non-technical applicant can apply in the business subcategory. And obviously the impact that these applicants must demonstrate is different. So they don't rely on writing the code, as we mentioned, but they rely on their achievement in the growth in their contributions towards the growth of a digital product-based business. And that is one emphasis that I would also like to make today, that the companies that you rely, whether as an employee or a founder, uh, must be to be eligible for the global talent visa in the digital technology sector. It must be a product-based digital technology company. What is product-based? What is service-based? Sometimes the distinction is not clear, but obviously, if that distinction is blurred in your case, it is very, very important that you present evidence and make that distinction in your application. And another question is, how early should someone start preparing their evidence portfolio? Yes. So the ideal situation is start as early as possible. If you think or if you consider about applying for the Global Talent, Global Promise visa, start as early as possible. As we mentioned, the process of gathering the evidence is it can be lengthy. You will be gathering the evidence about your participation at or giving talks, and you probably will be contacting previous employers or colleagues or supervisors. And so the evidence gathering process can be lengthy, and as we said, we don't always document like our achievements as we go. We are focused on doing our jobs most of the time. But that would be the ideal scenario. We do have cases, we do have applicants where their leave to remain is expiring, is due to expire. And sometimes we have people whose leave to remain is about to expire in 2-3 weeks. And so in those cases, obviously the pace of the preparation of the evidence preparation will have to be accelerated. It's not impossible to prepare the application, but in a few weeks. But ideally, you should allow yourselves as much time as possible. What's one mistake you see most frequently in applications? Yes. So the mistake that I most frequently see is sometimes, yes, leaving the preparation of the application until last minute. This obviously, as as experienced lawyers specializing in the global talent visa, we deal with these situations, but it is a mistake to leave it very late. Another mistake is not recognizing the category or insisting on applying for a global talent, for example, when the chances of success are much higher if an application is submitted under the exceptional promise category. So sometimes we do have those discussions lengthy with clients, but yes, obviously we are both working on having a successful applications, but this is one of the mistakes I see. And another mistake, the letters of recommendation. We do guide our clients about what elements the letters of recommendation should contain. But sometimes very generic statements. It looks more like a a job reference rather than a letter of recommendation. This is something that, yes, it is a mistake from the beginning, but it is something that we can work, obviously, and we do work to rectify it. Again, timing is important because this takes time to bring the letters of recommendation to an extent that will increase chances of success. Obviously, we don't create false claims, just to be clear. The experts, the authors of the letters of recommendation will have to consent, and it's honest statements, but it must be concrete statements and concrete examples of your contributions or your potential to contribute. And when it comes to impact that you have achieved, we said that that is always measurable. So that is another mistake. Letters of recommendation. What final advice would you give to someone hoping to apply within the next year? That is ideal candidate if someone is considering applying for the Global Talent or Global Promise visa now, and to make the application next year, but start preparing now. That is ideal scenario, really. So focus on the evidence. Ask yourself the questions: what achievements do I have? Have you built a product? Have you contributed to the growth of a business? It's not necessarily your business. What impact have you created? And then you come to the question: how and what evidence do I have at the moment, and what evidence will I be able to obtain by next year? So that is my advice. Ask yourself those questions and start working on what you already have, but also obviously what you can provide by next year. And also strategy. Get involved. Ask for more. Ask for tasks that would basically bring out your not capabilities and will give you the chance to contribute to the either. I guess it will be the digital technology business that you are either running or working for as an employee. Check what conferences there are, high level, obviously, whether you would be a suitable speaker for any of those conferences, any publications, if that is of your interest, because academic achievements is something that is acceptable as one of the qualifying criteria for the global talent visas. So you may also think about publication, writing, and obviously chances of your work being published. So that would be my advice. Okay, no more questions, and I think we are coming to an end anyway when I look at the time. So thank you very much for joining us today. On behalf of the London School of Emerging Technology and my personal behalf, obviously, I just want to thank you for joining us today and participating in this webinar. We hope you found the session valuable and that it has given you greater confidence in understanding the global talent visa pathway. And I also, of course, invite you to stay connected with our organizers, LSET, by following them on LinkedIn, YouTube, social media channels for more expert-led webinars, workshop, and innovator programs. Have a wonderful evening.